Beyond the gates, spoilers tease that Bill is being pushed into a corner by Hayley, and it happens so directly that even the air around them feels strange and tense. Hayley is not hiding the pressure anymore. She keeps repeating the same thing again and again about Lynette. She says she owes Lynette her life, and she cannot move forward with the plan to have a child with Bill if Lynette is still facing danger. It sounds emotional, it sounds sincere on the surface, but there is something odd in the way she insists. She keeps saying that bringing a baby into the world while the woman who once saved her life is suffering would make her feel guilty forever. The words spill out of her in bursts, sometimes soft, sometimes dramatic, almost rehearsed, but also a little chaotic. Bill watches her. He nods slowly. He pretends to understand the emotional logic she is presenting. Yet something about the timing feels strange. They had been talking about starting a family, and suddenly everything stops because of Lynette. The shift is abrupt, almost too convenient. Bill still agrees to move forward with the medical preparation, though. If they are going to conceive a child, then he must do a full health check first. The clinic is quiet, white walls, too clean. He sits in the waiting area with a small paper band around his wrist and the faint smell of antiseptic filling the air. He looks calm, but inside his thoughts move fast. The nurse calls his name and leads him toward the room where blood samples will be taken. The whole process should feel hopeful because it is connected to the idea of a future child. But instead, something hangs in the air like a question nobody wants to say out loud. Hayley is not there with him. She had insisted she had errands, important ones. Bill did not argue. He simply watched her leave earlier that morning with a small smile on her face that vanished the moment she thought he was not looking. While Bill waits for the blood draw, Hayley is somewhere else entirely. She is meeting Randy. The two of them sit in a quiet corner of a cafe where the music is too loud and the lighting too dim. They lean toward each other across the table as if sharing secrets. Hayley tells Randy everything. Bill agreed to the health check. Bill is already thinking about the baby. Bill is doing exactly what they expected. Randy listens carefully, his expression tight and calculating. He reminds Hayley of the original plan. Keep Bill distracted. Keep him emotionally invested. Delay the baby for as long as possible. Because the truth is simple and ugly. Hayley never intended to have a child with Bill. The idea was always just bait. Something to keep the money flowing. Something to keep Bill attached long enough for them to take everything they could. Randy leans back in his chair and taps the table with his finger. He asks Hayley if she is sticking to the plan. She hesitates, just for a second. That hesitation is enough to irritate him. Back at the clinic, Bill rolls up his sleeve and watches the nurse prepare the needle. He does not seem nervous about the test itself. Instead, he looks thoughtful, almost distracted. When the nurse leaves with the sample, he stays seated for a moment longer, staring at the small bandage on his arm. The silence in the room feels heavy. Then he pulls out his phone. His expression changes slightly. Harder, more focused. He makes a call. The person on the other end answers quickly, and Bill speaks in a low voice. He asks for a favor regarding Lynette. Something about a lawsuit that needs to disappear. Something that must be handled quietly. The words are careful, measured. A lawyer speaking to another professional who understands how certain problems can simply vanish if the right strings are pulled. But the question remains. Is Bill truly helping Lynette because Hayley asked him to? Or is something else happening beneath the surface? Because Bill is not a foolish man. He has built a reputation as a sharp attorney who notices details others ignore. It seems almost impossible that he would be manipulated so easily by Hayley. Some observers might even think that Bill is playing his own game now, pretending to follow her emotional demands while secretly watching every move she makes, testing her, waiting for the moment when the truth finally slips out. If that is the case, then the quiet phone call about Lynette might not be a gesture of loyalty to Hayley at all. It might be bait. Something designed to see how she reacts once the problem she claimed to care about suddenly disappears. Meanwhile, Hayley and Randy continue their conversation in the cafe. Randy grows frustrated. He reminds Hayley again that their success depends on discipline. They cannot improvise every time a new complication appears. He tells her that Lynette should not matter this much. The goal is Bill, his money, his trust. Everything else is just noise. Hayley looks uneasy when Lynette's name comes up again. She insists that helping Lynette is necessary for her peace of mind. Randy stares at her with suspicion. He asks if Lynette has been influencing her more than expected. Hayley shakes her head quickly, but the answer feels incomplete. Randy notices the shift in her tone. For the first time, he begins to wonder if Hayley might be drifting away from the original plan. Unfortunately for them, their meeting has not gone unnoticed. Chelsea and Madison happen to be nearby. At first, it is just coincidence. They walk into the cafe and spot Hayley sitting with Randy. The two women exchange a glance. Something about the way Hayley leans toward him feels wrong. Too familiar, too comfortable. They decide to stay a little longer and observe. Madison whispers that she has always found Hayley strange. Chelsea nods slowly. She mentions Bill's recent health problems, the dizziness, the exhaustion. The way he sometimes looks pale after drinking the herbal tea Hayley prepares for him every night. Madison raises an eyebrow at that detail. The conversation between them becomes quieter, more intense. They begin to wonder if Hayley might be hiding something darker. Their speculation grows wilder with every minute. Madison recalls reading about certain herbs that can slowly weaken someone's body if used the wrong way. Chelsea does not want to jump to conclusions, but the pattern worries her. Bill's symptoms appeared around the same time Hayley became obsessed with making those special teas. It could be coincidence, or it could be something else entirely. They watch Hayley and Randy laughing softly across the room, and the sight makes them uneasy. Two people sharing a secret while pretending the world cannot see them. At the same time, Bill is still working behind the scenes regarding Lynette. The legal situation around her is complicated. Tomas has already provided evidence suggesting that Lynette might not be as innocent as she claims. There are documents, testimonies, a tangled story that refuses to settle into a clear shape, yet Hayley keeps insisting Lynette must be cleared of all accusations. She pushes Bill again and again to make it happen. From a legal perspective, the demand is suspicious. Bill understands the law too well to accept such certainty without questioning it. If Lynette truly has nothing to hide, then the court process would eventually reveal that truth. So why is Hayley so desperate to control the outcome immediately? That question circles in Bill's mind like a restless bird. Perhaps he is pretending not to notice the warning signs around him, or perhaps he is carefully collecting them one by one. Because every experienced lawyer knows that sometimes the best strategy is silence. Let the opponent believe the deception is working. Let them relax. Let them expose the full extent of their scheme. The situation becomes even more interesting when Joey enters the picture. Bill eventually decides to speak with him about Hayley and Randy. Joey listens with a thoughtful expression. He has seen enough of human greed to recognize the pattern quickly. According to Joey, the partnership between Hayley and Randy fits the structure of a classic manipulation. Gain trust. Introduce emotional dependency. Create financial opportunities. Then disappear before the victim realizes what happened. Joey does not say this with cruelty, just calm certainty. Bill absorbs the explanation without reacting too strongly, but the tension in his shoulders gives away his thoughts. Joey offers advice that might change everything. If Bill truly wants to understand the depth of Hayley's plan, then he should continue playing along. Act as though he believes her completely. Continue helping Lynette. Continue discussing the future baby. Meanwhile, gather proof quietly. Follow the money. Track the meetings between Hayley and Randy. The truth will surface eventually. Joey's tone becomes slightly sharper when he talks about Randy. He warns Bill that Randy is the more disciplined strategist in the pair. If the plan collapses, Randy will likely vanish first and leave Hayley to face the consequences alone. That possibility lingers heavily in Bill's mind, because despite everything, he still cannot fully decide whether Hayley is a pure manipulator or someone who has lost control of her own scheme. Randy certainly wants her to stay focused on the original plan. He keeps reminding her that emotional attachments will ruin everything, yet Hayley continues drifting toward Lynette's concerns. She keeps insisting that Lynette must be safe before anything else happens. This obsession irritates Randy more with each passing day. The tension between them grows during another private meeting. Randy points out that their timeline is already shifting too much. Bill's health check, the legal favor for Lynette, the constant delays regarding the pregnancy. Every new complication increases the risk of exposure. Hayley argues that patience will make the payoff bigger. Randy disagrees. He says the longer Bill remains alive and alert, the more dangerous the situation becomes. Those words hang in the air for a moment. Hayley looks at him carefully. The implication is clear, even though he does not say it directly, and still Bill continues behaving as though nothing is wrong. He smiles at Hayley. He asks about the future. He even talks about baby names one evening just to watch her reaction. Hayley responds with enthusiasm, but there is a flicker of discomfort behind her eyes. Bill notices it. He notices everything, yet he says nothing. Chelsea and Madison, meanwhile, keep discussing their suspicions in private. The image of Hayley and Randy in that cafe refuses to leave their thoughts. Madison suggests they might be witnessing the early stage of a major deception. Chelsea wonders if they should warn Bill immediately, but neither of them has solid proof yet, just intuition. Just scattered details that refuse to align neatly. The strange thing is that Bill does not appear worried at all. His behavior remains calm, too calm perhaps. Sometimes he even looks amused when Hayley repeats her dramatic speeches about gratitude toward Lynette, as if he already knows where the story will end. So the question grows larger with every passing day. Is Bill truly under Hayley's psychological control, or is he quietly turning the entire situation into a trap of his own making? Because if Bill is pretending, then Hayley and Randy might be the ones walking into danger without realizing it. And if Joey continues guiding Bill through the shadows of this deception, then the final moment of revelation could be brutal. The kind of moment where every hidden intention crashes into the light at once. Until then, the strange calm around Bill remains the most unsettling clue of all, because sometimes the quietest person in the room is the one who already knows exactly how the story will end, and everyone else, they are just playing their roles without realizing the stage beneath them is slowly collapsing.